for the very first Muse Transmission that is happening this year. My aim for today is to give you a little bit of an insight, a transmission about regression work, soul retrieval, and soul fragmentations. Let me start with introducing myself. Some of you may know me and some may not, or some may have known me in another period of my life. And so I will just tell you how I got to now be talking about regression work and soul work. So I am Karen Remy, and I am a performing artist and a creative spiritual embodiment muse. I am also the creator of Soul Aim Presence, which is a method that brings together creative expression with personal inquiry, spiritual light and shadow work, and sensual embodiment. And I'd like to help other artists, healers, and creative souls to really embody their own life's mission, their soul aim, and to be present with their unique gifts in the world and to radiate out their own light for a more fulfilled and being in love with life. So I'm working as a performing artist, creating and researching in the fields of physical theater, dance, and Buto and contact improvisation since 2004. And then with reaching my first Saturn return in 2012, I got to a pivotal point in my life where I felt stuck. I, on the one hand, realized that with my art and my being, I was touching and opening deeper fields within myself and others. But on the other hand, I felt I had gone off the track. And so I really felt I had gone off the road and got stuck there, like in a car. And which really made me stuck at this time was that I tried to fit into social boxes, and I really had this inner wish for a family and a baby, and this cliche dream just didn't want to realize in my life. And so I felt purposeless. In this time, in this darkest time of my life, I felt like I was going deeper and deeper in a dark lake, and I was touching the muddy grounds. And I didn't feel lightful at all. And it was in this moment when I touched the grounds that I had something inside of me that decided to push off and to swim into the other direction. And so I started meditating with a friend. And she, when I felt so dark and so muddy and so in the shit, saw the light within me. And she made me see it as well. And this got me to a point that I really had to face the thing that I had most rejected until then, which was all those light and love stuff. And I really, to the day, I really didn't like all those people who were like spiritually and talking about light, talking about love is the greatest power, because it was just not what I experienced. It was not part of my life. I had other experiences. There are truly people who had worse experiences than me, but I had other experiences than lightful and loving. And so when she showed me my light, I had to face that actually there, with concentrating, focusing on the light and the love, there were jewels to be found, and there was a vocation, a reason to be found. So this set me on quite a long journey of healing and learning and researching and lots of rabbit holes and digging and experiences. It led me to studying shiatsu body work, Kabbalah, holistic healing with regression, the Taoism connected to the shiatsu, and then in the last years came human design and gene keys, which is kind of the connection between the Kabbalah and the Taoism, so the Eastern and the Western metaphysics or mystics. And nowadays, I bring all of that together. And I use it to help other people to discover their soul gifts and their true vocation, their true purpose. And to put that, express that in your art, in your healing work, because for me, healing work is a art as well. And also, when you don't feel like you're a healer or an artist, there may be some kind of creativity in your soul that is entirely yours, and that usually you may not put into the fields of art. Maybe it's cooking. Cooking can be an art as well. So anyways, that is me, that's my story, how I got here. And now I would really like to dive into that topic. So the topic of today is regression work, soul fragmentation, and soul retrieval. So each time that we are facing something that is kind of shocking, or that is giving you a little surprise moment, there's a part of you, like a little puzzle piece, that goes out of your system. And then sometimes they come back directly. Sometimes they get stuck there. And depending on the situation, they might be traumatized, stuck there. So this is what I put under the name of soul fragmentation. So this is happening in daily life, but it also happened throughout many lifetimes. And in each lifetime, there are pieces to be found to get yourself more complete and to understand yourself. So by bringing those pieces back, you get a greater understanding of yourself, of why you are acting in a certain way. And this can bring you to great self-compassion. So this compassion is then that which creates the gold. Yeah, it's really creating gold, to be compassionate to oneself, to stop beating the drum of I'm so bad, or like taking the whip and whipping yourself like I did this again and I'm so weird and I have this experience and nobody understands why I'm acting this way, and oh my gosh, and like keep on whipping. No, when you bring those pieces back, there's a greater compassion coming for yourself, but not only for yourself, it's also there. It's a greater compassion for others, because you may not understand them, but you may start to feel that they themselves have their own reason to act in a strange way. So if you give yourself the permission that there might be a deeper reason behind your acting, you simultaneously give the permission to others to also have a reason why they are the way they are. And this already gives greater calm, because it also gives the understanding that you're not here to change the others. You can accept them the way they are, and then you can look at your own stuff. So, looking at my own stuff as an artist, working with regression, made me see and travel in times and places that I would not be able to reach in my lifetime right now. So it gives me a creative threshold, like a creative gold pot that I can use, that I can dig from, and that I can nourish my artwork with. It gives me a whole variety of emotions that I haven't lived, that I haven't experienced in this lifetime here, right now, as Karen Remy. But at the same time, it opens up a field where I can truly full authentic nourishment of my characters that I perform. So this is how, for me, the regression work was nourishing my performing arts. And at the same time, knowing that it's not only about this life, but seeing it more like a soul journey. There was some pressure taken away. And there was some fear taken away. Because it is about fully experiencing the here and now without this fear of, oh my gosh, I might not live another day, but rather just knowing that this body, this time and space gives you the possibility to really have all those sensual experiences, all those, to see all the beauty that planet Earth is just like giving to you each day. And it gave me the focus to the beauty, also seeing maybe relatively my experiences right now are so much less harsh than what my soul has already gone through. So it is actually, it's so relative. And we can think about the future or the past, but everything lies in the here and now. So why then travel to the past and do regression work? So that's a good question. So sometimes in the here and now, we come to moments where something within us gets activated. So, for example, somebody says something to you in a certain way, which is simply getting you to a state of reaction, of reactivity, and you react in an entirely inappropriate way. And a little part in your brain may recognize that the way you're reacting is a bit over the top. But still, your whole entire system is like panicking, is reacting this way because it feels like it. And for you, it's true, even though for the others, they cannot understand it and they cannot see it. So what happened in this moment is that by this comment or whatever happened, a memory was triggered. And from your subconscious came a whole reaction pattern from the past. And the past, that can be 10 minutes ago, this can be 2 years ago, this can be in your early childhood, in your teenagehood, in your birth, in your pregnancy, or before your conception. So starting a regression, we don't know yet where we will land. We only know that something is there that shows up. Could also be that, well, in this moment when you have something activated, it is a little bit as if you have sunglasses on. Like, imagine the rose glasses. When you're in love, you see everything in rose and everything is so beautiful. Or when you're depressed, you have like black glasses, you see everything in black. And when you have activated something, you get the filter of whatever's activated and you see everything through that filter. So this is one moment where you could help yourself and heal yourself and find out something about your own potentials by doing a regression work. The other point where I would recommend to have a deeper look by doing a regression work is when you have some physical experiences that you have made checked by a doctor, and the doctor says there's nothing. But you feel that there is something, but the doctor cannot see anything. And they say, like, it's just, yeah, we don't know why that is, or we don't have any cure for that. There's nothing. We cannot, which means they cannot find anything. So in this moment, it can be interesting to have a deeper look. And we then enter the topic of the regression with a certain focus. We put it into a frame. So we don't just travel up and see where we land. No, we find the so-called mass bridge. So, which is the mental, emotional, somatic, and spiritual corner of this frame that we use to travel in. So it's really, you have this frame with 4 corners. And then we're traveling with a breath. So each person, each human is capable to do a regression, because each human has a subconscious. And in your subconscious, all the information of each second of this life and each second of all your other incarnations is well and safely stored. So to connect to the subconscious, what you need to do, simply breathe and open your entire self to the capacity of receiving. So you get into a receiving mode and you stop thinking, and I guide with questions. We don't go into hypnosis. We don't take any drugs. We're staying in the here and now. And we're able to change into the cognitive thinking mind like that. This gives you a huge sovereignty to walk in your pace. We don't put music. We're in silence. The only thing I put is a candle to invoke your higher guidance. And I don't tell anybody who they were, what happened, and what experience they made. Because I find this entirely intrusive. It is not helping to heal from my point of view. Sorry if you have another point of view. But from my point of view, it is not helping to heal. It is putting another coat on top of you instead of unwrapping layers. So when I do a regression work, I guide with questions. And even if, well, this is true, I do see what the people are experiencing in the regression work. And I give hints. For example, are you outside or inside a room? I may already know they are inside a room. So then I might see that there's a door, or that there is somebody else in the space. And I may simply ask the question that draws the attention to it, that opens the awareness. For example, are you alone? Or is there somebody else? And I'll leave it open so that the one who's being guided backwards is able to see and perceive by himself, by herself. And I consider this work so much more valuable than somebody reading for you from the Akashic Chronic. Because then it's out there. But if you do a regression work in this way, you experience it. And experiencing is one of the big ways that we humankind is learning. So such a regression gives you the knowledge of an entire lifetime. And then I also don't like, and I don't do regression as a tourism. So for me, a regression work is a intense work that you need to have a good intention and that you're willing to go into until the end. So that you're willing to end this lifetime, to bring back all the potentials that you left there, to leave all the convictions that are kind of timed out, but that are still in your system in that lifetime over there. And to close all the karmic connections, finalize the karmic connections, letting them go. So you're free to meet again or not. And then, as if you're closing a chapter in a book, as if you're ending a book, you're closing the book of this life. And you put it back into the library of all those lifetimes that you have lived. knowing that you could, if you want to, travel back in there, but not having it falling on your feet and having you to live in the rhythm of this lifetime because it just fell on your feet and wants to be looked at. So it really gives you some freedom when you close a book, close this chapter, and put it back into your Akashic Chronic, which it is. So, and thereby, from then, you are retrieving, you are doing this soul retrieval, bringing all those parts of yourself that you are left there into the highest realms that you can reach, and then back here into your body, into your presence. And you may feel where those pieces were missing, because you may feel that they fill a space that was somehow hollow. And for me, this is the biggest gift you can give to yourself. So, this is just one of my tools that I am working with in my soul presence when I'm doing one-on-one work and I'm guiding other artists, other healers, and creative souls to find their true meaning, to understand the way they are, and to unfold the presence that lie within. And yeah, my name is Karen Remy, and I thank you for your attention. And if you feel like doing a one work with me, it's not just a one time, it's a process, because we're going to be unfolding layer upon layer. If you feel like applying a one-on-one work, just reach out to me. From my heart to yours, Karen.